That is a charge called homicide, felony murder.
This suddenly happens when the jury returns to deliver its verdict.
Everybody want to know that I did kill her!
I take full responsibility for the accident.
There's nothing that can be done at this point to change what happened.
From the woman who has shot her husband for custody to the woman who has frozen her kids in her freezer, these are the other dangerous sides of women who have killed their loved ones without thinking about what they are doing.
But I think it is a case that justice demands a life sentence. I would ask that the victim can be allowed to leave.
Let's begin with our first case. The story of Christine Moody, a woman whose names became synonymous in Union County, South Carolina. Their tale is one of hatred, violence, and a twisted sense of justice that led to the brutal murders of Charles and Gretchen Parker.
Both bodies had multiple shot and stab wounds. Even though no one can deny the benefits of having a sex offender registry being accessible for everyone, this case shows the danger of giving people with bad intention the ability to locate them easily. I must clarify that I don't defend the sex offender. However, self-appointed vigilantes would only lead to a chaotic community.
It all began in July 2013, when Jeremy and Christine set their sights on the Parkers' home in rural Union County. Driven by a warped ideology, the Moodys targeted Charles Parker, a registered sex offender, and his wife Gretchen. Posing as stranded drivers, Jeremy and Christine gained entry to the Parkers' home. Once inside, their true intentions were revealed. The couple expressed their anger, shooting and stabbing Charles and Gretchen Parker in a wild attack.
Folster's son, Lauren Duckworth, and his stepdad, Stephen, are both registered sex offenders. They all live together, so the registry lists their address, even the make, model, color, and plate number of their car.
As news of the murders spread, law enforcement launched a search to track down the killers. It didn't take long for the trail to lead to Jeremy and Christine Moody. The couple's extremist views and connections to white supremacist groups quickly came to light, adding a disturbing dimension to an already terrible crime.
On July 21, 2013, a car pulled up at the residence of Charles and Gretchen Parker. The vehicle door swung open, revealing a robust, bald-headed man with tattoos on his neck and head.
The case went to the Union County Courthouse, where Judge Lee Alford presided over the proceedings. Prosecutor Kevin Brackett took on the task of bringing the Moodys to justice, meticulously presenting evidence that painted a damning picture of their actions. In the courtroom, Jeremy and Christine Moody's behavior was relaxing. Far from showing guilt, they seemed proud of their actions, their faces carved with defiance as they faced the consequences of their crimes. The gallery watched in disbelief as the couple's twisted motivations were bare.
Die right on your porch, blood everywhere. It was a terrible thing for Christmas.
Jim Ormrod was home at 11:30 on Christmas Eve listening to a sermon before bed when his Christmas was changed for good. His 32-year-old neighbor, Stephen Manuel, was bleeding. A 16-year-old boy was with him, begging for help.
They were both over here. He was laying on the ground, blood all over everything, and he was dead, but it was the young boy that asked me to call 911, and that's basically what I did.
When police arrived, they transported Manuel to Via Christi St. Francis. He died at the hospital shortly after. Ormrod lived next door to Manuel for a few years, but never saw the 16-year-old before, a young man he will likely never forget.
Faced with overwhelming evidence, Jeremy and Christine Moody decided to plead guilty. On May 6, 2014, they stood before Judge Alford and admitted to murder, kidnapping, first-degree burglary, and possession of a weapon during a violent crime. Judge Alford, recognizing the severity of their actions, sentenced the couple to life in prison. And that's a wrap.
This husband and wife are about to hear life-changing news. They're being charged with murder.
That is a charge called homicide, felony murder. It is life without parole. It requires a DNA sample to be taken upon arrest.
His mouth drops in shock. He can't believe what he's hearing. His wife's reaction? She sobs uncontrollably. Tears streak her face.
Angela Alexi, a 24-year-old woman charged with the murder of her newborn son. The tragic case happened in East Point, Michigan, where Alexei gave birth to her son, Eli, in a garage during the winter without any medical assistance. On August 2, 2018, authorities discovered Eli's lifeless body after Alexei had allegedly stored it in the garage for weeks.
Starving their 10-month-old baby girl, Mary. The baby was so malnourished she had sunken eyes and cheeks and no pulse when paramedics found her at the Welch home outside Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Following the birth, Alexei failed to provide her newborn with proper care. An autopsy later revealed that Eli died from malnutrition and dehydration due to neglect. At the time of his death, he weighed only about 8 pounds, which is significantly underweight for a baby of his age. Investigators found that Alexei and her partner had not sought medical help for Eli, citing personal beliefs and distrust of the healthcare system.
They noticed the baby was, quote, skinny and underweight a month ago, but did not seek medical attention because of their religious beliefs and a mistrust in medicine and the government.
We're gonna do whatever we gotta do.
Welch has also posted more than 100 hours of video on his Facebook page.
This doesn't fit in with my worldly brain.
His Facebook page is filled with bizarre rants against government, the Harry Potter series, and even Disney characters. He also reads from the Bible.
The case drew attention when police were called to the home after receiving reports of a foul odor emanating from the garage. Upon arrival, they discovered Eli's body wrapped in a blanket. The conditions in the home were described as unsanitary, with evidence of neglect evident throughout.
A mother testifying against her husband today during her own murder trial. Tatiana Fusari says that horrific abuse and torture left her unable to care for her youngest child, resulting in the death of the 10-month-old baby girl named Mary. Fox 17's Julie Dunbar was in court today and has the story tonight.
Why didn't you take her and bring her to the doctor instead? I did not want word to get back to him.
Tatiana Fusari testifying Tuesday she tried to help her baby, Mary Welch.
I always hoped that things would get better.
But the abuse she says she experienced at the hands of her husband, Seth Welch, was too much. She recalls one night when she woke up Welch to feel Mary kick when she was pregnant.
He got mad at me because I wouldn't let him sleep. So he asked me what the wrong with me, and he rolled over to face me.
The trial occurred in Macomb County Circuit Court, where Judge James Biernat presided over the proceedings. Prosecutors painted a harsh picture of Alexei's actions and highlighted her failure to care for her child properly. They argued that she had the great opportunity to seek help, but chose not to. During the trial, Alexei's defense claimed she did not intend for Eli to die and was overwhelmed by her circumstances. However, the evidence against her was compelling. The jury deliberated on the charges of first-degree murder and child abuse.
My fear has not helped anything. I just don't want to be afraid anymore.
Fusari saying day after day she was raped by her husband. She testified he controlled her phone and even timed how long it took for her to get to and from work. The family schedule was printed out and she was made to follow it to the minute. Fusari's mother-in-law noticed in July 2018 Mary didn't look well.
At that time, I was feeding Mary in their dining room, and Judy approached me and commented on whether or not I was going to take Mary to a doctor. And I know that Seth was out of earshot, so I was able to tell her that Seth told me she was fine, but I'm going to talk to him about taking her to a doctor.
On February 16, 2023, Angela Alexei was found guilty of murder and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. She received her sentence. Emotions ran high in the courtroom, and here this case came to an end.
Plaintiff versus Weldon K. McDavid, defendant. Case number SCN 363925, DA number OCD 980. Verdict. We, the jury, in the above entitled cause, find the defendant, Weldon K. McDavid, guilty of the crime of conspiracy to commit murder.
Let's move to our third case. Divorce can be bad for anyone else, but in this case, it turns out to be worse. In 2016, Diana was going through a divorce from her husband, Greg Mulvihill. But instead of battling it out in court like most, Diana decided to take things to another level. She devises a crazy plan to get rid of her ex for good. Diana contacts her gun instructor, Weldon McDavid Jr., and convinces him to help her. Lure Greg to a dark, secluded road and take him out.
A somber and humble Diana Lovejoy is led into court in shackles.
Doesn't that smell nice?
The Real Housewife of Carlsbad, California, charged with plotting to murder her estranged husband, Greg Mulvihill, and hiring shooting instructor and former Marine Weldon McDavid as her hitman.
On September 1st, 2016, Greg got a call. The guy on the phone claimed dirt on Diana and told Greg to meet him on this remote road in Carlsbad, California. Greg, probably thinking he was about to get some juicy info for his divorce case, took the bait.
When he's released from the hospital, Greg would return to the scene of the crime with detectives to show them exactly what happened when he arrived at the appointed meeting place.
But here's where things go south. Greg and his friend peered at this pole where the evidence was supposed to be, but a shot rang out. Greg got hit in the side, but managed to survive. The cops weren't dumb. They started digging and found a trail leading right back to Diana and Weldon. It turns out that Weldon was the shooter and Diana was the mastermind behind it all. Fast forward to the trial, and things get intense. The prosecution presents all the evidence, the planning, the gun, the whole 9 yards. Diana and Weldon claim they're innocent, but the jury isn't buying it.
Next. This suddenly happens when the jury returns to deliver its verdict.
Then comes the moment of truth. The verdict was read, and Diana just crumpled to the floor. It's like all the air got sucked out of her when she realized she was going away for a long, long time. In the end, Diana got slapped with 26 years to life, while Weldon got 50 years to life. That's where this case ends.
Everybody want to know? Yes, I did kill her!
Let's kickstart our fourth case. In March 2015, authorities in Detroit made a horrifying discovery when they found the bodies of Blair's 2 children, Stoney Blair and Stephen Barry, in a deep freezer in her apartment. The children had been dead for years, hidden away while their mother continued to live in the same home with her 2 surviving children.
In her confession, she says she killed 15-year-old Stoney Ann Blair and 8-year-old Stephen Barry because they were harming her youngest son since he was in diapers. She said she asked the kids more questions and then, quote, "I went back upstairs and started punching Stephen till he said he would tell the truth. How long has Stephen been in the freezer? I want to say 2 years. How long has Stoney been in the freezer? About 1 year. She died May 25th, but I don't remember the year. It's a blur. When did Stephen die? August 30th, maybe 2012.
Blair, a mother of 4, confessed to killing her 13-year-old daughter, Stoney, and 9-year-old son, Stephen. She claimed she did it because they had been abusing her youngest son, a claim that was never substantiated.
I didn't tell her to lift the body.
Can you imagine?
Talking about
you want to talk about your surviving children, though, Michelle? You did never consider turning yourself in?
If my son told me that he did not want me to go after what happened with Stephen, after I killed son, do you really think I was about to turn myself in because of her? Hell no. No. No.
And you feel no remorse for that?
I would kill him again.
Blair admitted to torturing and brutally killing her children. She beat them, burned them with scalding water, and ultimately took their lives, all while her other children watched or were aware of what was happening. Blair showed no remorse during her court appearances. She had several outbursts, including one during a custody hearing where she screamed at the father of her surviving children, blaming him for not being there to protect them. She openly admitted to her crimes, saying she would do it again if she had to. and expressed no regret for her actions.
As a mother, one of your primary responsibilities was to protect your kids. And in that respect, you failed in the worst possible way. There's nothing that can be done at this point to change what happened.
True, that's why I'm asking for life.
I know.
The court proceedings were filled with shocking details about the abuse and torture Blair inflicted on her children. Despite her outbursts and erratic behavior, Blair was found competent to stand trial. She pleaded guilty to the murders and was sentenced to life in prison, without the possibility of relief. Here comes the wrap-up of our case.
Banny Duarte is facing 3 counts of murder and DUI. Investigators say the teens were stopped at a red light near Huntington Beach when Duarte rear-ended them, causing their car to go up in flames.
Let's move toward our last case. We all know that overspeeding is dangerous for all, and it is said to record your speed limit while driving. But in this case, the lady thought she was driving a jet. Banny Duarte, a woman charged with causing a tragic car crash that killed 3 teenagers. The incident occurred on March 29, 2018, in Huntington Beach, California, when Duarte, who was heavily intoxicated, crashed her Hyundai Sonata into a Toyota Corolla that was stopped at a red light.
It is a miracle that she is not here on a murder charge because this is not her first DUI.
Prosecutor Ramona McCarthy outlining a history of documented incidents of Mayra Troncoso getting behind the wheel drunk.
She has a history of putting her children in the car, driving, and crashing.
On that fateful night, Duarte had consumed at least 9 alcoholic drinks and was driving at approximately 80 miles per hour on a road with a speed limit of 45. The crash's impact was devastating. The Toyota was pushed into a pole and burst into flames. Inside were 4 Las Vegas teenagers visiting Southern California for spring break. Her car had her 3 daughters who were badly injured from
She
it.
spent the November day drinking across the county and driving her 3 young daughters around, who were 8 years old, 2 years old, and 9 months old at the time.
3 of them, 17-year-olds Brooke Hawley and Albert A.J. Rossi Jr., along with 18-year-old Dylan Mack, were killed instantly. The 4th teen, Alexis Vargas, survived but suffered serious injuries, including burns and a concussion. Following the crash, Duarte was arrested and charged with 3 counts of second-degree murder and 1 count of driving under the influence, causing great bodily injury. The case was trialed in Orange County Superior Court, where Judge Gary Pear presided over the proceedings.
And I am very, very remorseful for the pain and the hurt that I caused my children and their parents. I take full responsibility for the accident that I caused.
Prosecutors presented a compelling case against Duarte, detailing her reckless behavior and the horrific consequences it had on the victims' families. During the trial, Duarte expressed remorse for her actions. She sobbed as she addressed the court and the victims' families, admitting that she was not in the right state of mind when the accident occurred.
That Banny Duarte was driving drunk when she slammed into the student's vehicle when it was stopped at a red light in March of 2018. The 4 Centennial High School students were in Huntington Beach for spring break, and according to the LA Times, information collected from Duarte's car computer system shows that she was going 79 miles per hour at the time of the crash, and she didn't touch the brake in the 5 seconds before the crash. Duarte has pleaded not guilty to 3 counts of murder and DUI.
Despite her pleas for forgiveness and claims of regret, many family members remained unmoved by her statements. After deliberation on February 16, 2023, Judge Pear sentenced Banny Duarte to 53 years to life in prison. Here is our final case wrap-up. Thanks for watching. Do you feel afraid of witnessing these cases? Comment in the comment box. Don't forget to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more unbelievable cases. In the comment box. Don't forget to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more unbelievable cases. Thanks for watching. Do you feel afraid of witnessing these cases? Comment in the comment box. Don't forget to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more unbelievable cases. In the comment box. Don't forget to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more unbelievable cases.